Hey, Raymond here from the Beginner Photography Podcast, and today I've got the 23 best photography YouTube channels that you need to be following today. Let's get into it. If you are anything like me, you learn better through video than text. And there are so many resources online to learn photography, but YouTube is my favorite. YouTube is hands down the best source for incredible photography, tutorials, tips, and even gear reviews. We photographers, we're visual creatures, and YouTube caters to the learning center of our brain perfectly. But with YouTube being a place where anyone can create and upload content, it can be time consuming to curate a list of photography channels that you must subscribe to that will provide endless reoccurring content. So I did the hard work for you, so that you can just sit back, enjoy, and keep shooting. The YouTube channels below are in no particular order, and no one is better than another. If you subscribe to even half of the YouTube channels on this list, I guarantee that you will be busy enough to catapult your knowledge of photography. Number 1, SLR Lounge. SLR Lounge's YouTube page is an extension of the popular SLR Lounge blog. The YouTube channel is full of tips for wedding and portrait photographers. From posing to lighting to editing and gear talk, SLR Lounge has something for just about everyone, from the new to the experienced. Number 2, Photos in Color. Photos in Color is a unique YouTube channel. While there are plenty of location photo shoots, there's a wide range of Lightroom and even editing tutorials too. Ed has a great way of communicating difficult ideas for newer photographers in a clear and concise way that everyone will understand. And this makes Photos in Color a must subscribe. 3, FStoppers. If you're unfamiliar with FStoppers, it's another popular photography blog. Their YouTube channel has some real gems. From their community critique series, their Photographing the World series, and a ton of behind-the-scenes videos, it's clear that they're committed to producing quality photography education. Number 4, Taylor Jackson. Taylor Jackson not only is a past guest of the Beginner Photography Podcast, but he has one of the best YouTube channels focused on photography. From a Photographer In series where he travels the world and shows you how he takes the amazing photographs that he takes, to mounting a GoPro to his camera and taking it along with you, to a full wedding where you can see his camera settings while he's shooting. Taylor Jackson is always coming up with new and interesting photography videos that will keep you captivated. 5, Peter Mckinnon. Peter Mckinnon's popularity on YouTube has exploded in the past year, and it is clear to see why. Peter's videos have incredible content and production quality, and with so many tutorials, you are bound to not only learn something, but you will be incredibly entertained. His photography vlog is also insightful and educational. Some of Peter's tutorials are not incredibly in-depth, but I'd be lying if I told you that I hadn't picked up a tip or two from him. 6, Nigel Danson. Nigel is a landscape photographer who does an incredible job taking us along with him as he shoots some of the world's most beautiful locations. He talks through what's going on through his head and why he's making the decisions that he's making. When it comes to landscape photography, there's a huge difference between good and great, and Nigel shows you what it takes and the mindset to have to be great. 7, Craft and Vision. David Duchemin is a world-renowned photographer who has shot on assignment in all 7 continents for just about every publication over the past several decades. Craft and Vision is a weekly themed video series aimed at helping you forget about the megapixels and focusing on the art of photography, the connection you can make through photography, and the stories that you can tell through photography. Andrew's videos are incredibly thought-provoking and equally enjoyable. I'd say that his channel is a must. 8, Advancing Your Photography. Host Mark Silber is another guest of the Beginner Photography Podcast, and you can check out his interviews back from episode 65 and 97. Mark has been shooting since the 60s, and I am so thankful that with the internet we have a place for him to share his incredible knowledge of photography with the world. He interviews some of the world's best photographers like Annie Leibovitz, Bob Holmes, Joe McNally. And Mark has a knack for asking the right questions that challenge both the photographer he's interviewing and the viewer. 9, Thomas Heaton. Thomas Heaton is a favorite among landscape photographers, both experienced and new to the genre. Thomas's videos are like watching him achieve a goal. They start with an intro, why he wants the shot, the challenges, the gear, the journey to the location arriving, and then tips on how he achieves the shot he wants. His videos are more than vlog style and purely instructional, but behind the scenes shows you the reality of what it takes to get a great landscape Photo. Number 10, Karl Taylor. Karl Taylor is a commercial advertising photographer and educator. Spend just 5 seconds watching any of his videos and it's clear he is extremely knowledgeable about lighting and product photography. Karl often brings you into his studio where he shows you why a single bottle of whiskey can take up to a dozen lights to photograph. Karl not only shows you how to shoot it right in camera, but then he'll show you how much work the image takes in Photoshop to polish it. Even if you're not a product photographer, seeing how another photographer sees and uses light is invaluable. Number 11, Phlearn. Phlearn is one of the best sources for all things photo editing in Lightroom and Photoshop. Some of the tutorials are incredibly complex and get you very in-depth. And thankfully, the host Aaron has mind-reading capabilities and can know which parts of the tutorials are complicated, and he does a great job of slowing down to explain the process and why it works the way that it does. And luckily, he has the personality to make learning fun and engaging. Phlearn has tutorials on everything from what button in Lightroom does what to how to make a Stranger Things themed poster in Photoshop. This tutorial on retouching baby's skin might be one of the most useful and most popular. Number 12, Chase Jarvis. Chase Jarvis is a world-famous photographer for some of the biggest sports and adventure brands, and creator of the massively popular website Creative Live. Chase hands down is one of the most positive and motivational people I have ever seen, and he shares his experiences that he has encountered while behind the camera to motivate and inspire photographers of all skill levels. His presence is perfect for his YouTube show Chase Jarvis Raw. Chase not only interviews some world-famous photographers, but also some of the world's top thought leaders, like Richard Branson, Damon John, and even Tim Ferriss. Number 13, B&H Photo. If you don't know, B&H Photo is the world's largest camera store located in New York City. The store has more than 70,000 square feet and more than 10,000 products that you can put your hands on and try. Their YouTube channel is full of useful product demos that will surely help you when you're feeling indecisive. But the real meat of B&H's YouTube channel is their Event Space series, where they record hour-long plus lectures and training by some of the world's best and most proven photographers. It is not short-form content. The guest has more time to go in depth on their topic and will give you a better understanding. And while tackling complex topics like, are you expressing creativity or just pressing buttons? The extra time and long-form conversation is really refreshing. 14, Adorama TV. Adorama TV is another camera retailer like B&H, but that's about all they have in common when it comes to their YouTube content. With close to 3,000 videos and over 1 million video views a month, it's obvious that Adorama TV makes some incredible tutorials and content for photographers. Adorama TV has a slew of video series, and you're bound to find several that really appeal to you. One of my favorite, host Mark Wallace, shares a ton of great tips about lighting that will definitely get you thinking differently. 15, the art of photography. If you're interested in anything film-related, print-related, or anything about taking photography to a level higher than just point and shoot, then the art of photography is perfect for you. Ted Forbes hosts interesting discussions about what makes photography interesting and artistic. His views are passionate yet open. He makes it clear that there's more than one way to do something right, and plenty of opportunity to improve and grow as a photographer. While Ted Forbes has helpful reviews on cameras and whatnot, I think that the most power comes from his many videos that get you thinking and asking yourself questions about your own work. 17, Mango Street. I skipped 16. Having created their YouTube channel for photographers just over a year ago, it's quite incredible that they have amassed over 500,000 dedicated subscribers. Watch any of their more than 100 videos and you will immediately understand the appeal. Their quick and to the point defined videos mean that there's no fluff and no time wasted learning what you're looking for. Their unique editing style and chemistry together make each video incredibly entertaining to watch. 18, Eric Kim Photography. Okay, Eric Kim is a street photographer who's not scared to strap a GoPro to the top of his camera and ask people walking by to take their portraits. Eric also shares photography tips like composition and street photography while he traces over his photos on an iPad, making them pop. Eric answers lots of questions about being bold and stepping out of your comfort zone when out on the street. That will be sure to help you when starting out. 19, Jessica Kobeissi. Jessica's channel is unique for sure. Some photographers make a single video of how to shoot in an ugly location, but Jessica has a whole series on shooting in ugly locations. Shooting with Dollar Tree items, cheap eBay dresses, and multiple photographers shooting the same model. Her channel offers fun and creative ideas and different perspectives prove that even with nothing, you can come up with a really creative photo shoot. 20. Jamie Windsor. Jamie is a UK-based wedding photographer, but don't let that stop you if you don't shoot weddings. With videos ranging from 9 tips to getting better black and white, to why your ideas aren't original, Jamie really has something useful for every photographer. Number 21, Evan Ranft. Evan's channel has some great offerings for the younger viewers who are interested in photography and travel through social media, if that makes sense. There are tutorials on getting high quality photos on Instagram, editing iPhone photos with VSCO. He caters to a crowd who wants freedom from their computer and still wants to be able to live an adventurous lifestyle. But don't skip this channel just because you're over 30 like myself. Evan also has tutorials on 14 great Lightroom tips, and the linked video below to what to expect and how to prepare for your first photo shoot. Number 22, Nathan Elson. Nathan Elson is a Calgary, Alberta commercial photographer who may not upload nearly as often as the rest of the YouTube channels on this list, but what he does upload is pure gold. Nathan is a master at bringing us into his busy studio and walking you through what's in his head and when it comes to lighting and camera technicals, as well as the challenges of what it's like being a busy working commercial photographer. 22, Irene Rudnyk. I'm not even going to try to butcher your last name. It's going to be embarrassing. I apologize. Irene, like Nathan Elson, is another Canadian photographer. Irene focuses on fashion photography, but with more homegrown portrait flair. She is great at what she does. Just check out her underwater photo shoot. But Irene knows her audience well enough to create videos like the one below, all about what goes into having a home studio. 24, bonus alert, the Beginner Photography Podcast. That's right, this one right here. On top of posting every recorded podcast interview, this year has seen an effort into posting more tutorials to helping grow your skills as a photographer, like creative challenges and dealing with digital storage, and showing you how to focus less on what doesn't matter. That's it! Like I mentioned earlier, there's no shortage of great photography resources on YouTube. And in fact, if you scoured YouTube non-stop for the next year, I'm sure that you could learn everything you would need to become a successful photographer. But in case you don't have that much time and want to learn photography in an easy-to-follow free video course, sign up for the 14-day free video course over on our website. That is Photography Basics for Beginners, 14 Days to Better Photos. Again, just head over to beginnerphotographypodcast.com, scroll to the bottom of the page, and sign up now. Alright guys, that is it. If you found this video entertaining or helpful or informative, be sure to leave a comment below and subscribe while you're here. Like I said, I'm coming out with more content every single week that I know that you will appreciate. My goal in this video is that you have found a brand new photography resource to binge. Alright, that's it guys. I will see you next week.